The importance of empathy. We all live in our own version of reality, a reality that is limited by our senses, our temperament, and our own experiences. It is the only reality we will ever truly know, but it is crucial to our personal development, our relationships, and to society itself that we make the effort to try and experience other people's realities as well. This is done through empathy. Simply stated, empathy is an active attempt to understand another person's perspective, their emotions, and in essence, their reality. We are social animals, and our ability to communicate and understand each other's emotional states is key to maintaining our relationships. So it is little wonder that the ability to empathize is hardwired directly into our brains. One area that assists in this process is the right supramarginal gyrus, which helps us to distinguish our own emotional state from that of another person, and plays a key role in our ability to observe and assess what other people are experiencing. Studies from Neuron Science Journal suggest that we have systems of mirror neurons in our brains that cause us to mimic the actions of others. That is why when we see someone yawn, we will often yawn in reply. And when we observe someone experiencing joy or pain, we experience the same sensation to a certain extent. But these reactions are primarily driven by subconscious reflexes. In order to be truly empathic, you have to actively think beyond yourself and your own concerns. You can develop this empathic skill by practicing some simple habits. Be observant of others. We tend to spend the majority of our day dwelling on ourselves, caught up in our own daily routines and digital distractions. But taking the
I
time
hate
to
those
observe
fingers.
others around
Oh
you
my
is a good
god. Those fingers creep me the fuck out. I hate animators when they do that shit.
routines and
What
digital
is this?
distractions.
What is that? Why do your thumbs move in like irregular ways?
Taking the time to observe others around you is a good first step in developing your empathy. Watch and wonder. Try to focus on the person's state of being rather than categorizing or labeling them. Ask yourself, what kind of day are they having? How are they feeling? Challenge yourself to genuinely care about their well-being.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I think it has officially been an hour. The stream got cut off in the middle, so it's 30:30. If you are new to the stream and you are watching, it literally costs nothing to hit the follow button. If you wouldn't mind giving me a follow, it would make the stream feel much more homey. I'd want this to be a comfortable place for you to express yourself, and anything that you see on the screen, please don't hesitate to drop something in the chat to let me know you're here, and that you're either enjoying it or that you'd like me to skip it.
Curiosity about others is the first step to expanding your empathy. Use active listening. During a conversation, especially a heated one, most people formulate their response before the other person even finishes their statement. This form of communication is more verbal combat than an exchange of ideas or opinions. Avoid this reflex by slowing down. Rather than rushing to reply, take a moment to consider the other person's statement. Ask follow-up questions to better understand what the speaker intended. Try to understand their emotional state and the deeper motivations behind their statement. What life experiences led them to their current worldview? Remember, you don't need to share someone's opinion in order to understand it and acknowledge it. And listening will help inform and expand your own opinion. Open up. Learning more about other people's experiences is a key element to seeing the world through someone else's eyes. But it is also important to open up about your own feelings and experiences. Empathy is a two-way street that at best is built upon mutual understanding. Through a combination of uncovering the deeper motivations of someone else's position and expressing our own underlying concerns, we often discover a shared commonality, even with those who hold different beliefs than ours. Through the practice of keeping an open mind, empathy helps us challenge prejudice, find commonality, and expand our moral universe. Without it, we are apt to label people outside our circle as the other, the problem, or the enemy. These labels draw lines in the sand that prevent us from moving forward or growing. It cuts us off from the realization that the human experience is a shared experience. We have much more in common than we think, and are really just seeing small variations of the same reality.
Oh man, it's like everything I said in the last 15 minutes got put into a nice 3-minute and 30-second chunk. But this leads me on to the point I was trying to make earlier. Empathy. If we do not lead with empathy in our lives, if we don't feel like ever like, okay, these things are important, these things are where we should be standing in society, then we're always going to hit these roadblocks where people who don't believe the things we believe will generally block us out of their worldview. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but there's a great argument to be made about the legality of slavery as an empathetic choice. You cannot tell me that people... So, slavery was a thing. Was a big thing. I'm oversimplifying it to make this point, so don't come at me. But slavery was a decision that had to have been made amongst a group of people who said, this is the correct thing we should do. This is how we should be. This is how we should act. This is just the way it is, right? And what's scary about that is when slavery was over, people didn't want it to be over. We fought a whole war just over the idea of, should we let these people go free? And then when we did, we left them with nothing. Sorry, guys. We left it with nothing. We left them with nothing at all. And what's crazy to me is that after slavery ended and Reconstruction was supposed to put us all on the same, plane, we didn't get that at all. What we ended up getting was this systematic destruction of a people who never even had the right to own anything or the right to work and describe their own wages. They were starting from literally square zero, while everybody else had already made the money, made the manufacturing, made the laws, made the stuff, and there couldn't be any empathy because that's a part of our history. I think that we disregard U.S. history because it's fast. We're in the moment, we're in a very archival society, so we could look back at it and say, we'd never let it get that bad. But we refuse to stop the pieces that are in front of us that enable those things to happen. I remember as a joke I was making with my dad once, but I've made this joke with plenty of people. If a bunch of white people said, yeah, let's let slavery be a thing again, who's stopping that? The law? Think about it. We're already getting shot and killed for simple shit. You really think if somebody said, yeah, he's my slave now, what stops them from having that thought? See, that's the idea of preventative measures. Just because a law says you can't kill somebody doesn't mean people don't stop killing people. You need to remove the circumstances in their life that lead them to that choice. You need to be able to empathize with other people to understand why they think all illegal immigrants are bad or Mexico's bringing rapists and drugs. There's no way for me to deprogram that without taking a step back and saying, why do you think that way? What has happened in your life that makes that thought be a resounding, cause, a resounding push, a resounding, echo? What makes you feel that way? And what's tricky about that, to even say for the least, is that I can't find an answer.